Welcome back to my channel. This is The Nerdy Narrative. My name is Leslie, and today is a reading vlog about what all I have been reading this past week. So the first update is going to be the L Stones of Shannara by Terry Brooks. This book I am still laboring through. It has gotten a little tedious, which I am now guessing that must be Terry Brooks. That's his style. Perhaps if I read this book when I was younger, like when I read The Lord of the Rings and The Chronicles of Narnia, things of that nature, I would have enjoyed it more. The update on the experiment is I watched the TV show first, and now I'm reading the books. And I'm going to go ahead and say I like the show better because what I've learned, this book is the second in the series, and this is the book that the show picks up with, and I can see why. They also pretty much changed everything. Like, I started making a list of the differences between the show and the book. I thought it would be a short one. No. Literally, everything is different. And normally, I would probably be really angry, but the things they changed, they made a good decision in my opinion. This book as it is written would have been a terrible TV show. So the changes they made were good ones. And I'm going to go ahead and say I like the show better. I don't know that I'm going to be able to finish this book, and it's probably going to take me all year. This is the book I put beside my bed. So when usually I'll crawl in bed 30 minutes to an hour early, and then I'll read for that time frame. And this is the one that I chose to do that with. And so as it stands, I'm 83 pages in. It's a slow go. Another book that I read this week is The 10,000 Doors of January by Alex E. Haro. This book is so confusing. I gave it 4 stars on Goodreads. I recommend it, but then I don't. Like, you really have to be a particular style of, you have to like a particular style of writing, I think, to really enjoy it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love this book, but it took a while to get to the point. So I have really mixed feelings about it. I do love it though. So yeah, that's confusing, but I'll have a review coming up on my channel, a little more in depth. So stay tuned for that if you want to be confused with me. So the book that I am currently reading is Gideon the Knight by Tamsin Muir. I first heard of this book when they announced the books that were going to be in the running for the BookTube SFF Awards. And I saw the cover and I fell in love with the cover. So the cover alone was enough to make me want to read this book. Then I got the book, and like, this book is gorgeous. I mean, it is just completely murdered out. It's black. The pages on the edges are black. Freaking love that little attention to detail. And then the skull on the front is just awesome in my opinion. Well, then I read the blurb, and then I was really kind of intrigued. So I put a little update on Goodreads that went out on Twitter, and I'm 85 pages in on this book. I'm still not quite sure what the actual plot is. I think I'm about to discover the meat of the story. But what I do know is I absolutely love the interactions between Gideon, Nav, and Haro Hark, Nona Jessimus. I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that right, but it's like 20 syllables long. I'm doing the best that I can. But these two together are just make me just giggle out loud like every time when I'm reading this book. So I do have some footage where I filmed myself while I was reading this book and some thoughts that I had that I'll insert here for your enjoyment. This is probably my most favorite book I have purchased. Okay. So far this year, this is 100% my most favorite book I've purchased appearance-wise. I've just started it. I'm 56 pages in. I still don't really know. I haven't formed an opinion yet because I don't believe I've gotten to the plot of the story yet. It's still kind of a whole bunch of setup. But I love the skull with the 9 and Roman numerals. I love that it's black. I love that the pages are black. Like, black, okay. So I can't really say I have a favorite color. If you ask me what my favorite color is, the first thing I'm going to ask you is, what is it going on? Because depending on what it's going on is going to change my answer. Like cars, I'm going to say black. Books, black. I mean, look how stunning this is. Like, ever since I got this book, I just can't stop like looking at it. But I am being careful with the coffee and drinking at the counter instead of my usual spot over there on the couch. Like, the spot on the couch is my daytime reading area because I open all of the windows and the blinds that are on the doors and I get a whole bunch of natural light. I would say after I eat dinner, when I read, I go upstairs to my reading nook in the loft because it has the best light in the house, and that's where I like to read at night. I also will I usually go to bed and I'll spend like 30 minutes to an hour reading in bed. So I have 3 reading locations. It depends on what time of day it is, but I don't typically read at the counter, but I'm doing it because I have coffee. But typically, I do not eat or drink around physical books. I'll just do that if I'm like reading on my electronic device because I'm a book collector and I would be in physical heart-wrenching pain if I got something on one of my books. So now that I say that, I'm probably going to get this birthday coffee all over it. But, you know, it's St. Patty's Day, luck of the Irish and all that, so. Okay, I will say about Gideon the Knight, so far, while I don't think I've discovered what the actual plot is, the interaction between Gideon and the Reverend daughter of the Ninth House, her name is Harrow. I don't know, it's Harrow something, but they usually refer to her as Harrow. Anyway, these two, their interactions with each other are hilarious. Like, they are typical. So their interaction with each other is what kind of interaction I have like online gaming. I am a huge fan of World of Warcraft. When it came out like 16 years ago, that game was the majority of my life for 5 years. Like, literally, I would get up, go to work, come home, get straight on the computer, play WoW all night until like 11 o'clock, until I go to bed, get up, go to work, rinse, repeat. And then on the weekends, like I come home Friday night, I'm on it, and I would play all day Saturday and Sunday. So the things that they say to each other is stuff I would say every day in WoW with my friends, like die in a fire, go choke on a dick. I mean, it's hilarious, their interaction with each other. I hope that continues through this book because I've been loving it. Like, I have to have these to read because hashtag I'm over the hill, but I can't see anything else with them. So like, trying to navigate like reading while maybe, you know, drinking my coffee isn't gonna work because it's not comfortable. It's not comfortable for me to wear them on the tip of my nose like a lot of people do, so they can just, you know, look up and they can see just fine. Like, it's not comfortable. Like, no. I have to wear it like right here. I guess my bones are funny or something, or like sharp, but like right here, it just makes me want to sniff all the time, and no. So I like had to wear them up here, and then they're like too far up for me to like I would have to really like look this way over them. So I guess I'm just have to stop reading and drink my coffee. And the final book that I read this week is To Guard with Love by Roberta Bombonato. She's an author who I recently reviewed a book on my channel. I want to say I put it up on Monday, March 2nd, and it was Blind Sympathy. Oh, finally, I said the title right. Anyhow, she has a new book coming out March 2nd, and it's To Guard with Love. And I believe right now it is currently just on Goodreads. You're going to have to get down if you're going to do that. We ain't having that. We ain't having that. You have dirt on your head. Somebody needs a bath. Somebody. You need a bath. You want a spa day? Yeah. This book is amazing. So while I was waiting on the Jeep to have its repairs made, I pulled it out and read the dedication page and the first chapter. But I had to message Miss Bombonato after I read the dedication page and let her know she already had me in tears. I mean, my heart was already just swelling just reading that. And so I only got the first chapter read and the Jeep was ready. And so at that point I left there and I decided to hit a little used bookstore that I had discovered in the area on the way home and had a blast. She wouldn't let me film in the store because there were other patrons there, and I didn't want to be getting in anybody's way. But I did take a little picture of it that I'll put up for you. But it's in Ocoee, Florida, and it was wonderful. She had everything. She had every genre you could think of. She had them arranged alphabetically by author's last name. And she knew where everything was. Like, I was looking for a couple of things. I'm collecting a few different series of authors, and so I was like, I'll look, but do you know any chance if you have this or this? Unfortunately, her pricing wasn't very competitive. There were a lot of books that she had that I wanted that were in pristine condition, but it was about double what I could find them for on eBay. I know there are a lot of booktubers that are, kind of pushing to support your local library, your local used bookstores and whatnot, but when I really love an author, I want the money going to that author. I want to support what they do because I want them to keep doing it. So I kind of try to spread my wealth. I did purchase a couple of books from her, but for the most part, she wasn't competitive. Her prices were most oftentimes double of what you can get the books on eBay for, because depending on, like, if I'm trying a new author or a new series, I'm going to more often than not purchase paperback, and I'll really want to try to purchase it used. If I love it, then I'm going to collect the hardback. That's kind of what I'm doing right now with Jim Butcher. I'm trying to get all the Dresden Files books in hardback, which is proving difficult and expensive. So that's what I was looking for. I was hoping she might have some of those, but she said she literally cannot keep his paperbacks or hardbacks on the shelf. However, I did find a couple of books that I wanted to give a try. I've never read any books by Brandon Sanderson, and everybody on BookTube just raves about this guy. So I did pick up Mistborn. This book looks to be in perfect condition. The spine has no creasings whatsoever, and that's how I prefer to have my books. When I read paperbacks, sorry, I have to reach around. I have a pup in my lap. I mean, I will tilt them in a way so that I don't crack or crease the spine, because that's just how I am. I know it's a paperback, and like I said, if I love it, I'm going to collect the hardback. I don't care. I'm just OCD about it. It's just how I am. So I did pick this one up, and I had no idea that there was a third book in this series. Stephen Lawhead, I have the first two, Hood and Scarlet. I had no idea he wrote a third called Tuck until I saw it in her store. I just happened to walk by and it was on one of her end caps. And I looked and I recognized the spine and I was like, wait a minute. And so I picked it up and I was like, wait a minute. What? How did I not hear about this? So I picked it up because, again, no, the spine is in perfect condition. The edges of the book look perfect. Yeah, 100%. I got this book. I haven't seen it anywhere else, so it might, I'm not sure. So now this means I need to reread the first two before I can read the third one. The one tiny issue I have is she is a smoker and she sat out front of her shop and smoked while I was inside shopping. And so the books, unfortunately, do have a lingering scent of cigarette smoke, and I cannot stand cigarette smoke. It gives me, in my old age, it gives me a headache and it just aggravates my sinuses. So I mean, I'm sure these will air out over time, but, you know, but at any rate, I'm gonna give her a chance. If I find that I'm in search of a book that is hard to find, I'm definitely gonna go by her shop and see if she has it. I can't wait to delve back into Gideon the Knight. I am really looking forward to watching this story unfold. I have really high hopes for this book. I called it in an earlier video. I said I thought this was going to be my favorite book that I was going to read for the booktube SFF. And so I'm really curious if that's how it's going to pan out. We'll see. Stay tuned. That's a wrap, nerds. I'll catch y'all next Wednesday. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you soon.